I found one sentence in my wife's notes app. It said, "He's the only place I can breathe." Under that sentence were 143 dates. Not messages, not random reminders. Dates. Some had tiny symbols beside them, a blue dot, a coffee cup, a little wave. And next to 3 of them, she had written 2 words that made my hands go numb. Safe place. My name is Daniel Mercer. I was 42 years old when I found that note. I worked as a project manager for a commercial construction company outside Raleigh, North Carolina. I was not the kind of man who checked phones. At least, I never thought I was. I believed privacy mattered. I believed a marriage had to have room for separate thoughts, separate friendships, separate bad days. My wife Claire used to say that was one of the things she loved about me. "You don't make me feel trapped," she would tell me. For 14 years, I thought that was a compliment. Claire was 39. She worked in human resources for a regional healthcare company downtown. She was smart, organized, and good with people in a way I never had been. I built schedules, budgets, and timelines. Claire built rooms where everyone felt seen, or at least, that was what I used to believe. We had a quiet life, not perfect, just stable. A brick house with a porch that needed repainting. A 12-year-old daughter named Sophie, who had recently decided every conversation with her parents was embarrassing. A golden retriever named Miles, who slept directly in front of the refrigerator as if he owned the kitchen. Claire liked candles, old soul music, and taking long walks after dinner when she had too much on her mind. I liked fixing things that weren't broken yet. That was our joke. She would call me from another room and say, "Danny, the sink is fine." And I would say, "It's not fine. It's making a sound." For most of our marriage, that was enough. I thought being useful was a kind of love. Then, little by little, I started feeling like I was useful to everyone except my wife. It began with the walks. Claire would finish dinner, kiss Sophie on the forehead, tell me she needed 20 minutes to clear her head, and leave with her phone in one hand and her keys in the other. At first, I didn't think anything of it. People need space. People get stressed. People have private thoughts. But then 20 minutes became 40. 40 became an hour. And every time she came back, she looked calmer, not tired, not relieved. Calmer in a way that made me feel like somebody else had been holding the weight she no longer wanted to give me. One Thursday night, Sophie was at a sleepover. I was on the couch with Miles beside me, half watching a basketball game, when Claire came downstairs in jeans and a soft gray sweater. She had already changed out of the clothes she wore to work. That was unusual. "Walk?" I asked. "Just need air," she said. Then she smiled at me. It was a small smile, gentle, familiar, but there was something prepared about it, like she had already rehearsed it in another room. I watched her leave through the front window. Her car backed out of the driveway. Then I looked down at the end table. She had left her phone. Claire never left her phone, not in the bathroom, not downstairs, not in the car, not anymore. I picked it up only because I thought she would turn around and come back for it. The screen lit up in my hand. There was no lock, not because I knew the passcode, because she had been using it before she left, and the screen had not gone dark yet. A notification from Notes appeared at the top. It read, "Don't forget, blue scarf, side entrance, 8:15. I wish I could tell you I put the phone down. I wish I could tell you I called her name, walked outside, and waited for the honest version of the truth. But the truth had already entered my house. It was sitting in my hand. I opened the note. That was when I saw the sentence, "He's the only place I can breathe." Then the dates. 143 of them. The oldest was nearly 2 years earlier. The newest was that night. I sat on the edge of our couch with my wife's phone in my hand while the game kept playing on television. A crowd cheered somewhere in the background. Miles lifted his head and looked at me, and I remember thinking how strange it was that the world could stay completely normal when your life had just divided into before and after. I did not read everything, not at first. I took screenshots of the note and sent them to my own email. Then I put the phone back exactly where I found it. My hands were steady. That was the part that frightened me most. I wasn't angry yet. I was cold. The kind of cold you feel when you realize a building you thought was solid has a crack running through the foundation. Claire came back 46 minutes later. She stopped in the doorway when she saw her phone on the table. For half a second her face changed. "Not much, just enough. Forgot this," she said. "Yeah," I replied. She picked it up quickly. Then she looked at me. "You okay?" I looked at my wife, the woman who had slept beside me for 14 years, the woman whose coffee I made every morning before she woke up, the woman who had looked me in the eye an hour earlier and said she needed air. "Just tired," I said. She nodded. Then she leaned down and kissed the top of my head. "Get some sleep, Danny." That kiss stayed with me, not because it was affectionate, because I could not stop wondering whether she had kissed him before she came home, whether she had fixed her hair in the car, whether she had practiced the exact expression she wore when she walked back through our door. The next morning I went to work early. I sat in my truck in the parking lot for 20 minutes before I went inside. I had a meeting at 8, a contractor dispute at 9:30, a change order that had to be approved before noon. I did all of it. I answered emails. I called vendors. I listened to a man complain about steel delivery delays for 12 straight minutes. But under everything, those dates were still there. 143 dates. A record of every time my wife had stepped out of our marriage and written it down like a private calendar of another life. That evening, after Claire went upstairs to shower, I opened our shared laptop. We had set it up years ago for bills, school forms, family photos, streaming accounts. Claire's notes had synced there before. I didn't need to break into anything. I didn't need to guess a password. The note was still open, and this time I read it. The blue dot meant he had met her after work. The coffee cup meant they had seen each other in the morning before either of them went into the office. The wave meant a place called Lakeview Park. At first I thought that was all. Then I found the entries beneath some of the dates, tiny sentences, fragments, things she had written after seeing him. He remembered I hate driving in the rain. He said I don't have to explain myself to him. He held my hand under the table. He noticed the blue scarf. He knows when I'm pretending I'm okay. And then there were details that hurt in a different way. Not explicit details. Worse, personal ones. The kind that meant this wasn't a single night, a stupid choice, or a moment of weakness. It was a relationship. She had written that he always brought her the same tea from a place near his office because it settled her stomach when she was anxious. She had written that they had a song they never played at home. She had written that whenever she texted him, "I need air," he knew to meet her behind the old bookstore near Lakeview Park. She had written that he called her C, not Claire, not honey, just C. And somehow, that one letter made me feel sick, because it was intimate in a way that was hard to explain. A name reduced to something private, something only they understood. Then I found the entry from 6 months earlier. "We fought again. Danny asked if something was wrong. I told him work was stressful. Then I went to Lakeview and let Aaron hold me until I stopped shaking. He is my safe place. Aaron." The name was Aaron. I knew exactly who he was. Aaron Pike, 44, operations director at Claire's company, married, 2 sons. I had met him once at a charity event Claire's office hosted. He had a strong handshake and a polished smile, the kind of man who made eye contact just long enough to seem sincere. He had looked at Claire while she was speaking that night. I remembered it now. Not the way a coworker looks at another coworker. The way a man looks at a woman when he already knows things about her he should not know. I sat there in the dark at our kitchen table until the laptop screen dimmed. Then I heard Claire coming down the stairs. I closed it. She walked into the kitchen in pajamas, her hair still damp. "You coming to bed?" she asked. I looked at her. She looked exhausted. For 1 weak second I wanted to believe she was exhausted because she had been carrying guilt. But guilt wasn't what I saw. I saw distance. I saw someone who had spent 2 years building a room inside herself where I was not allowed. "Soon," I said. The next week I did not become a detective. I did not follow her car. I did not install trackers. I did not call Aaron's wife. Not yet. I did something less dramatic. I watched my own marriage carefully, and once I knew what I was looking at, I saw it everywhere. Claire would tell Sophie she was going for a walk after we argued about money. 10 minutes later, her phone would buzz on the counter. She would glance down, and her shoulders would loosen. She started wearing the blue scarf on Thursdays, the same blue scarf mentioned in the note. She bought a specific tea and kept it in the back of the pantry, the same tea Aaron brought her. She had changed the password on her phone, but she had not changed the way she smiled after reading his messages. That was the hardest part. Not imagining what happened when they met. I knew enough. The hardest part was watching my wife reserve tenderness for someone else. She would come home from work distracted, barely noticing me. Then her phone would light up, and suddenly she would look alive, like somebody had turned a light on behind her eyes. I began to understand that I was not competing with a man. I was competing with a version of herself she had created with him, the version who never had to discuss bills, the version who never had to help Sophie with homework, the version who could leave a room after an argument and become someone else entirely. So I stopped trying to win her back. Instead, I started preparing to leave the triangle. I met with a family attorney recommended by a colleague. I did not ask for revenge. I asked what I needed to protect: Sophie, our house, our finances, and my own ability to think clearly. The attorney told me something I will never forget. "Don't make decisions to punish your wife," she said. "Make decisions you can live with when you're no longer angry." That was the first useful thing anyone had said to me in weeks. I copied our financial records. I documented shared expenses. I made an appointment with a therapist, not because I thought I was broken, but because I needed one place where I could say the ugliest thoughts out loud without handing them to my daughter. Then I waited, not for more proof. I had enough proof. I waited for the moment I could speak without asking Claire to save me from what she had done. That moment came on a Sunday. Claire had told us she was taking Sophie to the mall for school clothes. Sophie came back 40 minutes later with my sister. Claire had dropped her at my sister's house first. She had said she needed to run one quick errand. I knew exactly where she was going: Lakeview Park, the safe place. When she got home, she walked in carrying 2 shopping bags. There was nothing in them, not one shirt, not one pair of shoes, not even a receipt. She saw me at the kitchen table. Then she saw the folder in front of me. Her face went still. "Where's Sophie?" she asked. "With my sister. She's fine." "Daniel, sit down, Claire." She did. For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. Then I slid a printed page across the table. The sentence was at the top: "He's the only place I can breathe." Below it were the 143 dates. Claire stared at the page, her lips parted. Then she whispered, "You went through my phone." That was her first response. Not denial, not sorrow, not fear for our marriage. Privacy. I nodded once. "I saw a notification when you left your phone on the table." The note synced to the family laptop. She looked down. "I can explain." "No," I said. "You can answer questions." Explaining is what people do when they want the truth to sound smaller. Her eyes filled with tears. "Danny, it wasn't like that." I looked at the blue scarf hanging over the chair by the door. "The tea." She said nothing. "The bookstore." Nothing. "The Thursdays." Her face crumpled. "I was lonely," she said. I had expected that. People always say loneliness like it appeared in the room by itself, like it didn't grow through choices, like it didn't need feeding. "You were lonely," I said quietly. "So you gave another man every part of you that you stopped bringing home." It wasn't just physical. I know. That landed harder than anything else, because I did know. I knew it was not just physical. It was worse. It was private language. It was rituals. It was the blue scarf, and the tea, and the park bench, and the songs she never played in our house. It was every small moment she had trained herself to associate with him. Claire wiped her face. "Aaron understood me." "Maybe he did." She looked up, surprised. I continued. "Maybe he understood the part of you that didn't have to be a mother, a wife, an employee, or an adult with responsibilities. Maybe he gave you a place to feel wanted without asking you to build anything real." Her tears stopped, not because she felt better, because she knew I was right. "He loves me," she whispered. I shook my head. "No. He likes the version of you that arrives when his real life is elsewhere." She flinched. I opened another page in the folder. It was a public property record and a few printed photographs from Aaron's social media. Nothing private. Nothing stolen. Aaron had taken his family to the mountains that weekend. His wife had posted a picture of all 4 of them. Aaron's arm around her, 2 boys smiling in front of a cabin. The date was the same day Claire wrote, "He says he wishes he could wake up beside me every morning." "He has a life," I said, "and you were helping him escape it, just like he helped you escape ours." Claire stared at the page for a long time. Then she said the most honest thing she had said all night. I didn't know how to stop. I believed her, not because it excused her, because I finally understood that she had not built one affair. She had built a dependency, a place where every fight with me sent her toward him. Every ordinary disappointment became a reason to text him. Every moment she felt unseen became proof that she deserved a secret life. But I could not fix that for her, and I could not stay married to it. "I'm filing for separation," I said. Claire looked up fast. "Please don't do that." "I already did." Her breathing changed. "You're ending everything?" "No," I said. "You ended what we had. I'm ending the part where I stand outside a door you built for another man and wait to be invited in." She cried then. Really cried. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, with both hands over her face. I wanted to comfort her. That instinct was still there. 14 years does not disappear because you find a note. But I didn't move, because comfort from me was exactly what she had always expected after hurting me, and I was done being the place she returned to after giving her real softness somewhere else. The next few months were not clean. Real life rarely is. Claire moved into a small apartment near her office. We created a parenting schedule for Sophie. We spoke through our attorneys when we needed to discuss finances, and directly when it involved our daughter. Aaron did not leave his wife. Claire told me that herself during one of the first conversations we had after she moved out. "He said he can't destroy his family," she said. I almost laughed, but there was nothing funny about it. He could help destroy mine. He just could not bear the cost of losing his own. I never contacted him. I never sent his wife screenshots. I never went to his office. Maybe that would have felt satisfying for a night, but I had spent too long living inside someone else's choices. I did not want my next chapter to be built around him either. Claire eventually began therapy. I hope it helps her. I mean that sincerely. Sophie began therapy too. That part mattered more. I told my daughter only what she needed to know, that her mother and I were separating, that none of it was her fault, that both of us loved her, and that adults sometimes make choices that hurt people, but children are never responsible for repairing the damage. A year later, I took Sophie to Lakeview Park, not because I wanted to reclaim it, not because I wanted to prove anything. She had a school project about local trails, and she wanted pictures of the water. We walked past the old bookstore. We passed the bench where I knew Claire had met Aaron, and for the first time, I didn't feel angry. I felt tired. Then I felt free. Sophie took a picture of the lake with her phone. "Dad," she said, "you think Mom ever comes here anymore?" I looked out at the water. "I don't know." She waited. Then I said, "But we don't have to." She nodded, and we kept walking. That was when I understood something. Claire had called him her safe place, but safety built on lies is not safety. It is hiding, and hiding always comes with a cost. I spent 2 years thinking I had to become stronger than Aaron. More exciting, more romantic, more understanding. I was wrong. I did not have to compete for a place in my own marriage. I only had to stop accepting a role in someone else's secret life. I found one sentence in my wife's notes app. It led me to 143 dates, but the real truth was simpler than any of them. She had built a place without me, so I built a life that no longer needed her to choose me. Do you think an emotional affair can hurt more than one physical betrayal? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if this story stayed with you, subscribe for more stories about truth, boundaries, and rebuilding after betrayal.
Clock strikes, silence wraps the room. A gentle breath, memories bloom. In corners where laughter used to spill, you linger here, you always will. Yeah.
Curtains drawn, the sunlight spills on me, tracing lines you left in quiet honesty. Words unspoken, pressed in dust and air, soft echoes marking everywhere. Yeah.
Heartbeat steady in the hush you made.
Caught between retreat and the parade, I find myself replaying every scene, every little whisper in between.
You are the thunder in a sunlit haze, the taste of coffee at the break of day. Still I wear your favorite jacket, walk familiar alleys, looking for laughter we used to chase. steps in, painted in autumn tones, speaking truth in melodies grown. Her words a shelter from the gentle rain. Wishing I could go back there again. We made mistakes, tied up in time, but every fall felt worth the climb. When comfort wore your cologne and smile, a moment's warmth that stays a while. You are the thunder in a sunlit haze, the taste of coffee at the break of day. Still I wear your favorite jacket, walk familiar alleys looking for laughter.